Getting a report from law enforcement reporting a tornado on the ground near Cameron, moving east at 15 miles per hour.
This tornado is getting into Knox County, but now I'm concerned about this down here.
We do believe now we have Mike Ortiz, our chief photographer, who's been out in the Port Byron area. We have a live shot ready for you. And as we pull this up, I'm sorry, you'll have to introduce yourself to us. And as we see behind you extensive damage to that house, what have you seen in your area tonight?
I'm Spencer Hughes and I'm from Port Byron, Illinois. I personally saw the tornado start to form. I was looking out my sliding glass window and I saw the clouds start to rotate.
Our annual Secure Shred event is happening right now outside our studios. Kwqc's Danielle McCarthy is live, and Danielle, we are shredding a lot of paper today.
We definitely are, Morgan. So there are these bins here, like this one here behind me. They've filled up a couple dozen of those, if not more, with papers from people coming up our driveway here at the Brady Street Hill in Davenport.
It's our annual Toys for Tots drive, a day dedicated to bringing the community together to help collect toys for children in need. And it always warms our hearts to see so many people show how they care.
On a Quad City interstate, a school bus flips and all the kids on board are taken to the hospital.
11 kids were on board heading to a field trip. All 11 were taken to Illini Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Fireballs like this one are not supposed to happen, but just a month ago, a month after the Galena oil train crash, more concerns have been raised about the tank cars that are carrying the crude oil and ethanol.
TV6 Investigates tonight has a new look at those tank cars. Investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us tonight. And Mark, the worries have shifted from surviving a crash to surviving a fire.
Yeah, we investigated these tank cars before and after the Galena oil train derailment.
Our political team coverage tonight, Democratic White House hopeful Hillary Clinton holding a town hall meeting in Davenport, rallying support 1 week before the first national Democratic debate. Kwqc's Brian Boson sat down with Clinton, who just unveiled a number of new proposals.
What do you think about your chances here in Iowa?
I feel very good about it because of the response that I'm getting and the organization that we have on the ground that is working so hard.
GOP presidential hopeful Jeb Bush is visiting Iowa today and tomorrow with a stop in Goose Lake tonight.
When Jeb Bush hit the stage at the Millennium Ballroom in Goose Lake,
Jeb Bush,
he got straight to talking about hot-button issues.
Rather than find 4 million people homes in other countries, maybe we need safe zones so that we can build the remnants of the Syrian Free Army, train them, provide the support from Arab countries and European countries for the refugees to stay there safely.
No budget yet in Illinois, taking its toll on certain programs. Carl Sandburg College will suspend 3 state-funded programs at the end of the year.
Sarah Panzu made the move to Galesburg from Africa.
I came here to study and to get a better education.
Because of the budget situation in Illinois, Carl Sandburg College isn't receiving any state or federal aid. So the program Panzu needs to achieve her goals is being suspended.
That helps thousands of people every year stay warm, faces the prospect of being out in the cold.
Terry Sanders joins this group at Rock Island Senior Center almost every day. Each one relies on Project Now to help keep them warm during the cold winter months.
The low-income heating assistance program, there's enough funding to only get us through the rest of this month.
Budget impasse in Illinois is now into its 5th month, and frustration is growing as the state gets further behind on its payments.
Well, overall, Illinois is more than $181 million behind in distributing the MFT funds. This is a tax that drivers are paying at the pump, and it's supposed to flow back into the cities, counties, and townships for things like road repairs and snow removal.
The state is in so much trouble where it's like a deadlock.
I think they really need to get their stuff together because, I mean, I pay high taxes.
The motor fuel tax is about 20 cents per gallon of gasoline in Illinois. Even without a budget, that's being collected, but the state isn't forking over that money.
Topping our news at 6 tonight, the 5-month fight over a state budget continues. Now lottery winners are among those calling for a plan to pass.
Without a budget, sorry is all that many people are getting, including lottery winners. The state will give you something, an IOU. These are being given to anyone who wins over $600.
No balanced budget means no water and sewer payments to East Moline for the State Correctional Center. Good evening, I'm Gary Mativier.
I'm Paula Sands. Illinois now owes East Moline more than $166,000, an amount that may soon affect city services.
The ill effects of Illinois' ongoing budget battle are dripping down to cities in the QCA.
We've been feeling lots of pain for a long time. I can't run my city this way.
East Moline Mayor John Thodo says the state owes the city more than $355,000.
From frozen power lines to all this new snow, tonight the Quad Cities is digging out from a Super Bowl snowstorm. This developing story tops your news at 10 tonight. Good evening. I'm Gary Mativier.
And I'm Elizabeth Goodsit. As the snow piles up, it starts to blow around. Some in our area, like Rock Island County, have pulled their plows off the roads tonight. It is a dangerous combination. Heavy snow now blowing and drifting across the roads, making for a miserable night across the QCA.
We have team coverage tonight on this winter storm. KWQC's Kai Edwards on the conditions of the roads out there right now.
Katie Alexander is covering power outages with concerns more could come overnight.
And we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland with the very latest on the storm and what we could expect next tonight. Eric?
Well, probably something that a lot of you are looking forward to, the end of the snow. And we can see the back edge of the snow just along the Mississippi. Most areas in Iowa now snow-free, except a little batch that's just west of the Metro Quad Cities on Interstate 80.
And Kaya, the delivery drivers really earning their money out there tonight.
They were working really hard, and right now on Kimberly and Brady, it's almost a little bit hard to tell if it's still snowing because a lot of the snow from earlier today is drifting out onto the roads. You can kind of see it blowing around here, and a lot of drivers, because of that, are taking it really easy, driving pretty slowly tonight.
Delivery drivers are on the move, getting food to customers.
Well, a big problem a lot of us have been dealing with in this storm, power outages. The latest numbers show about 2,000 Mid-American customers in the Illinois and Iowa Quad Cities without power at this point.
Well, Elizabeth, this is the cause of a lot of the power outages. It's very wet snow, and that is heavy, weighing down the power lines and weighing down the tree branches, which have been snapping and taking down power lines when they fall.
It would almost put the center of the tornado right on the county line right now. And for Galesburg's sake, it is staying on that easterly course, which is good because prior to this, it was turning a little bit to the north. That's why it kind of looked like it was following Highway 34.
Getting a report from law enforcement reporting a tornado on the ground near Cameron, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Estimated that it will cross I-74 south of Galesburg in the next 10 minutes.
Intense moments caught on camera tonight. Incredible video out of Cameron, Illinois. Not one, but several tornadoes dropping out of that storm around the QCA.
The hardest hit area from what we hear, Cameron, Illinois tonight. Let's go live there. I believe we have James Stratton first tonight to tell us what you are seeing, James, in that community of about 800 people that has been hit hard tonight.
Good evening, Gary. I'm actually on the west side of town on 130th Street, 180th Avenue. And I'm not sure how well you can actually see this, but large power lines down across the street, and the street is actually flooded. Now, this is 130th Street, and there is actually a railroad crossing as well. And as you can see, that bright, shiny X, that is a railroad sign that has been completely toppled.
KWQC's Elizabeth Goodsit is on the opposite side of Cameron. We're going to go to her now to see what she is seeing from her vantage point. Elizabeth?
Well, we are at the north end of town, as James was talking about, and you can see there is a multi-agency response here. We have state police, we have the Warren County Sheriff, volunteer firefighters, first responders from many cities across the QCA coming here to help as soon as they heard about what happened.
Tiffany Liu continues our team coverage.
Yeah, she's in Port Byron. You know, we're tracking all these storm systems. Tiffany, what do you have for us?
Now, we are at one of the homes which had a lot of damage. You could see that people are working up top the roof right now. The garage door was also bent. And I actually have the homeowner with me right now, Greg Janicki. I know you told me earlier that you weren't home when this happened, but what was your reaction when you first pulled into the driveway?
It was scary to see, you know, what had happened with the roof blowing off and stuff, but people were already here at work. Our neighbors came to help us immediately. So kind of put the family at ease and my kids at ease that, you know, things were getting taken care of right away.
Well, if you're a parent, your kids are probably in bed by now. You'll get them up in the morning and send them off to school, assuming they'll come back safely. For some parents in the Louisa-Muscatine School District, that nearly didn't happen.
Yeah, back in November, several got a phone call. Their children's bus crashed. They needed to be picked up from the hospital. Tonight, we have exclusive video of the crash from inside that bus. And we hear from the students who lived through it.
TV6 investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us now. And Mark, a terrifying experience for the kids and their parents.
Yes, when they heard rollover, the parents imagined their kids tumbling around as if they were inside a washing machine. And this never-before-seen video confirms it. These kids are sharing their experience for the first time, what it was like to be in a bus rollover.
November 18th started out like any other day for the kids riding bus 091. The brothers boarded the bus around 7:30. Several others were already on.
I knew something was wrong soon as the bus hit the turn to the right and he lost control, hit the sign. Then he tried to correct himself. He went to the left. When he tried to correct himself, I knew we were done.
The debate about seatbelts is for those types of crashes, these rollovers and side impacts. And one thing to keep in mind is that they happen so rarely that there hasn't been such a big push on that from the safety agencies. But back in the mid-90s, safety researchers began looking at school bus accidents where the bus was hit on the side or rolled over. It found those compartments leave kids vulnerable.
Tanya Young didn't worry about the lack of seat belts on her kid's bus before the November accident. When she got that phone call, though,
first picture that went through my head was of the bus rolling over and the kids just toppling around.
She and her husband Jason welcomed the idea of seat belts following the accident.
The main thing is just to get the kids safe. That's what we need. The kids have to be safe at all times.
The National Transportation Safety Board studied 6 school bus crashes in 1999. It found the compartment strategy that's been in place since the 70s leaves passengers vulnerable when a bus gets hit on the side or rolls over. The kids fall out of the seats. NTSB issued 2 recommendations back then. First, study how to protect school bus passengers in all crash types. Second, require restraints to do the job. NHTSA ran its tests. In 2002, it declared the current compartment seating design safe. NHTSA's study found adding lap and shoulder belts could protect students, but NHTSA said they're too expensive to require on large school buses. 5 years later, NHTSA was asked again about seat belts. This time, it required lap and shoulder belts in small school buses, but it again ruled against requiring seatbelts on large school buses because of the cost.
We begin with breaking news at 5. A train derailment in Joe Daviess County, Illinois, with cars carrying oil. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon DeRick.
I'm Gary Mativier. This video you're looking at right now just into our newsroom from our crews on the scene.
Well, Gary, looking at that video, we were talking with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, which was trying to get up to that scene to respond. They were actually told to stay away because of the fire and explosion. One tank car was on fire, but there was another one on top of it. And when that sort of explosion of fire happened, my guess is that that's when that second tank car really caught and the tank car would have ruptured.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Joe Daviess County, Illinois. A train derailment this afternoon. The BNSF railway train derailed 105 cars, 103 carrying crude oil.
Fireballs like this one are not supposed to happen, but just a month ago, a month after the Galena oil train crash, more concerns have been raised about the tank cars that are carrying the crude oil and ethanol.
TV6 Investigates tonight has a new look at those tank cars. Investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us tonight. And Mark, the worries have shifted from surviving a crash to surviving a fire.
Yeah, we investigated these tank cars before and after the Galena oil train derailment. Now, the government's known since 1991 that the DOT 111 tank car is vulnerable to puncture.
There's not much you can do for that other than try and contain it and keep it from harming anyone or the environment.
Davenport firefighter Tyler Schmidt says the Galena train crash highlights how difficult it is to respond to a tank car emergency. Ethanol rolls through Davenport daily, and crude oil ships through Galena and Galesburg just as often.
Our annual Secure Shred event is happening right now outside our studios. KWQC's Danielle McCarthy is live, and Danielle, we are shredding a lot of paper today.
We definitely are, Morgan. So there are these bins here, like this one here behind me. They've filled up a couple dozen of those, if not more, with papers from people coming up our driveway here at the Brady Street Hill in Davenport.
It's our annual Toys for Tots drive, a day dedicated to bringing the community together to help collect toys for children in need. And it always warms our hearts to see so many people show how they care by dropping off donations at our station during this event.
And we talk about the excitement of the Bix, and here's one big reason why. Our adopted son, Meb Kwqc, won the Boston Marathon this year, and he's back this year to run in the Bix. And we are off. The howitzer has blasted the starting gun.
To give us an update on Project Bundle Up. How are things going so far? We're, several hours into it, Patty.
Well, actually, it's going wonderfully. At this time last year, we're far ahead of where we were last year.
In just a few days, we will celebrate Veterans Day, and tonight we salute our veterans with a unique look at those who served in France in World War II. We take you to France with a QC French connection. KWQC's Gary Mativier reports from France.
Here in the French countryside, you'll see a lot of villages just like this one. This 70-year-old photo tells the story. The propeller from the plane of a Letts, Iowa man, August 5th, 1944. A time when America lost an average of 170 planes a day in World War II. Major Lawrence Herrick was just 24 years old.
I was born 3 weeks after my father's fatal crash.
For most of his life, Richard would know very little about his father's death.
My mother never really talked about my father, but you could understand that in the situation she was in. She had a new family, so she never talked about that.
I looked out and seen all them ships. I never seen so many ships in my life. It was far beyond the horizon.
George Shirks was 20 years old. His Navy salvage team had just completed demolition training in Scotland. He had no idea what to expect. No idea he was about to be part of history, part of the D-Day invasion off the coast of Normandy, France.
An Alleman High School grad has had an adventurous life and is now making headlines again. Bill Albrecht spent 25 years as a Secret Service agent protecting 6 presidents and their families and other heads of state. But it is his service in the military that is taking center stage right now.
Yes, Sharon, Bill earned the distinction of being the youngest captain to command combat troops in Vietnam.
We were such a minor target. We figured, well, they were telling me that there was nothing, it was kind of like a holiday. You're going to go out there for 30 days and run security. It's your turn. The other guy is going out. Crack of dawn, incoming, and I mean a lot of it. Rockets, recoilless rifle, mortars, small arms. We got hit, and we got hit quick, and we got hard. We took a lot of casualties.
Well, it is the middle of harvest season for many farmers, but cancer has left one area farmer unable to get in his fields this fall. So friends and family decided they wanted to help. KWQC's Ashley Davis joins us now with what some are calling the most amazing harvest.
Now, usually you see 1 or 2 combines in the fields during this time of the year, but you can see in Carl Bates's field on Friday, there were many more than that, all to help an area farmer in need. Jason Bates says his cousin Carl never would have been able to harvest his fields on his own. That's why Jason's father decided to bring the community together and get it done for him.
This whole thing was full, and it goes way beyond the hill towards Galva there and then out this way, and they just got the combines in a line. Each head, they get done with a row, and the next row they took place.
Liam decided that he was going to be the star in all of his movies, and so Liam was always our very strong child.
Strong in both body and spirit. But that strength was about to be tested. The whole family was about to be tested by something that started so innocent enough. A cough was going around school. Liam came home running a low-grade fever. They treated him for pneumonia and sent him home with breathing treatments. Another night, another day, and no improvement. A team of medical experts swarmed in. Despite their efforts, Liam's breathing nearly stopped. Doctors intubated him. A ventilator would have to breathe for him. After months of being in the hospital in Peoria, then rehab in Chicago, Liam is settling in at home.
We came into the room and he saw that he still had a desk and he still had his name on his desk. And that was really surprising for him because he had said before, I'm not a part of that class anymore. I'm not in the first grade at Dankman. I don't go there. And so for him to come and see, you still have a desk, it still has your name on it, you're still a part of this classroom, was so cool for him.
Football players are taught to be fearless, but this was a journey that would scare anyone. Colton felt pain and went to the ER.
We really didn't know what was going on.
In the coming months, he battled serious digestive diseases, from ulcerative colitis to peritonitis. But the scariest,
I swear I had 5 doctors in there. They didn't know what was going on.
Was a potentially fatal bacterial infection.
My heart started racing. It's getting hard to breathe. I told her, I'm like, I think you need to call Dad. Get Dad here. And right when I said that, blacked out.